That was a bittersweet night, wasn't it? Anytime you have such high expectations going in of one horse in particular, um, and something happens, a break, it's really tough to take. I guess the only solace in Slim Jimmy making a break is we know exactly what happened. When it happened, I thought immediately, we've been playing with fire, racing him with flip-flops and full swedges on now for far too long, and he finally slipped off. But as I went through the race, I'm trying to figure it out too, immediately when it happens. As we go through the race, he's trotting so good, and I'm saying to myself, the first week when we finished third, remember, we didn't have a great night that night, and I left with him and then was worried about him making a break going into the turn, so I dumped him in the 3-hole. Tonight, I'm even money. I know in my mind, the only horse I have to beat is inside of me, and if he does get off the gate well, he's going to be waiting for me. He wants to cut me loose. I just know how Ronnie is, which would have been fine. Coast over to the front. Ronnie might even remove to the front with his horse. Now, a lot happened that I didn't plan for, but a lot of that may have happened because I made a break. So, as I said, I finished the race up. I saw the half ahead of me in 57, and I actually let them trot to catch up to them. So I'm thinking they're going to slow down. They're going to go in 56. A couple of these things are going to be on their hands and knees finishing up. Now's the time, at least we'll try and salvage a 4th or 5th and figure out what the hell happened. So, I go to, I pull up, and I'm angry. Obviously, I'm angry, but those things happen. The horse, he didn't do anything wrong. He just rolled off. So I looked at Jason, and I said, we've been playing with goddamn fire too long with these full swedges. I said, we're going to have to put grab on him and maybe cut these flip-flops out. And then I got to thinking, geez, the night he won in 56, the track was very deep at Northfield Park that night. Why? Why tonight? Why was it tonight? As Jason's walking away, or Kirby's walking away with the horse, I said, hey, have him check that horse's elbow. So Jason and I are talking about the horse, and I walk over, and sure enough, Kirby's bathing him off, and he hit his left elbow. That is what we saw. That is why he made a break. I mean, anytime the horse reaches up with their foot, and hits their elbow, there's not a lot there, but some real tender skin, and it's a stinger. And that's exactly what you saw. He stung himself and rolled off stride at the gate. So a number of things we can do. First thing I want to do is continue on what we're doing with the shoeing. I said to Jason, his left foot's always been a little more narrow than his right foot. It's just confirmation. I want to make sure we keep those angles down around 49 or 50. Maybe widen that left foot out also. Is it a coincidence that the only elbow he hit was the left one? Maybe. Maybe not. White Tiger, it's funny, the only elbow he hits is the left one, and it took 3 years to put elbow boots on him. So, not a piece of equipment I'm really high on adding, but at the same time, I don't want a repeat of this. I guess the only solace is, if we were going to see him make a break, we got to do it in a race that was for no points in Ohio, raced for less money than a Sire Stakes, and it wasn't the final. So we have options with his shoeing, we have options with his equipment. I guess first and foremost, we know what happened tonight with Slim Jimmy, and we can mitigate it in a number of ways. So that was with Slim Jimmy. Obviously, Of Tom did what she could. As soon as I abandoned the pocket again, I knew she was uncomfortable out in the 2-wide path. I stay on the inside. Am I still 4th? Probably. But she proved that she's not a Sire Stake filly. She's just going to be a nice Buckeye filly for the remainder of the season, I would imagine. Picked up some money and raced okay. What else do we got? And then a horse that I figured would do exactly what she did was Sweet on Pete. Things went according to plan with her. I was more than happy to sit covered up behind the Gabby filly. I figured at the quarter pole, regardless of what Aaron did, he wasn't going to beat this filly tonight. She's just brimming with confidence, and she feels so good right now. When I moved her over at the head of the lane, I didn't know how long it would take me, but I was fairly confident I would get to the wire ahead of Aaron's filly. So the night didn't go according to plan in totality, but at the same time, Sweet on Pete was every bit as good as I said she would be. Slim Jimmy, an unfortunate little mishap there. He hit his elbow. I think probably what we'll do is tinker with his shoeing just a hair, because we don't want to screw with him too much. The horse is very good right now, but we will likely add a set of elbow boots to him for his next stake race, which will be a sire stake at home in Northfield Park. Of Tom and a number of other horses, we'll head to Urbana on Tuesday. She's back on short notice, a big girl, heading to Urbana. Her 1-2 skip a few. The 3 pacers and 2 3-year-old trotters will be heading to Urbana on Tuesday. What else do we have? We had the bone scan done on my Jazz today. The only spot that lit up was her left hind ankle. Not shocking. What does that mean? I haven't talked to the veterinarian as far as what his recommendations are, what he believes is going on there, and how we can combat that. The good news is nothing else lit up, nothing in the stifle, nothing up higher, no weird injuries. So we will work around that with my Jazz. I don't think it's something that we need to stop with her. So again, most of these questions I can answer more when I talk to the person that was in charge of the bone scan. And then Voyage of Ice and Fire went to the university to get gelded today because they thought he was a ridgeling. I guess he was a ridgeling, but it wasn't completely up in the abdomen. His testicle was in the canal. Now, worth noting that may have been causing him some discomfort in the year. Could we luck out and it could be that? Maybe. I suppose. We'll see the downtime, because they didn't have to scope the abdomen. It wasn't as invasive. The downtime is much less. Probably catch a couple of fares with them later on, and a Buckeye maybe. But overall, I guess of all our horses, the biggest wasted year has been Voyage of Ice and Fire, and that happens. So we'll move forward. Tonight wasn't a horrible night. I know Trixie raced scope sick, which wasn't surprising. James thought maybe she was a little sick. Allergies are bugging her a bit. No blood in her throat, but there was some redness and some mucus. And then Adrenaline Rush. We simply, there's such a thin line between being able to do in that class and having to go somewhere else. And I think Adrenaline Rush, it was funny, it wasn't. Large contingent of owners own Adrenaline Rush, and a number of them wanted to race him somewhere else, and a number of them wanted to give him one more try at Mohawk. And it'll be the first. We will try him somewhere else. We'll race him somewhere in a condition claimer, whether it be Georgian, Grand River, or somewhere else. We will race Adrenaline Rush accordingly. So we'll continue on. We got a big day tomorrow. We get the 3 fillies here back at Scioto. But before we do that, I'm staying overnight tonight. I'm heading to the airport to fly to drive our girl Taiwan on, racing in the Sire Stakes tomorrow afternoon in Philadelphia. And I will be back here for tomorrow evening at Scioto, and then after that going to Tioga for Sunday. So still lots of racing left, both here and in Canada, for the rest of the weekend. As I said, tonight, a little bummed out about Slim Jimmy, but we know exactly what happened. We can mitigate it. We can stop it from ever happening again, I believe. So it'll be one and done, hopefully. One mishap, one mistake, and that will be it for our boy Jimmy. He'll be back next week in the Sire Stakes in Northfield Park. We'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. The Slim Jimmy group, chin up. Things will be better in the future, and he'll be back next week in the Sire Stake. Talk to you guys soon.